I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I would say the ZV-E10, what I'm shooting on right now, is probably the best starting camera that you can get 2023 and going into 2024. You want to see why I believe that? Check this out. This is the ZV-E1 right next to the ZV-E10. Now, as you can see, the ZV-E10 looks amazing. Bang for buck for the price with the lenses that you get and the autofocus it has. You for under $1,000, if that's what you have to spend, you will not do better than the ZV-E10. You just won't. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, maybe if you get lucky, you can get like an A6700 used for somebody less than $1,000, but you still need a good lens, right? So you can buy the lens and the camera. You can buy the Sigma 16 1.4, the 30 1.4, or even the 56 1.4, right? With the ZV-E10, and both of those together less than $1,000. And look at the image quality. You are looking at it right now. This is basically out of camera. The only thing I did is I just kind of adjusted the saturation. I just went to picture profile and added 5 to the saturation or whatever, and that's about it. And then straight out of camera, not editing in it or anything like that. So what do you think? Look at this image, guys. Can you use this? Can this build a YouTube channel? Of course it can. Now, if you want to spend more, you've got the ZV-E10, which looks amazing, what you're looking at right now. But I can run these head to head, and you can see them side by side, and they both look great. Thing is, the other one cost 2 to 3 times more, right? For the price of a ZV-E1, you can get 2 ZV-10s and a lens. But I'm shooting the majority of this on the ZV-E10. But I wanted to show you the difference between the two, because the ZV-E1 is an amazing camera, but you know, if you get it used for $1,800 something, you're in a good price range for the camera, and it works great. Autofocus is unstoppable, and the low light performance is unbreakable. It's just amazing. So that's awesome. But do you need it? Do you need 120 frames per second? I mean, do you need 60 frames per second uncropped? If you do, ZV-E1's great. But I would say for the majority of people, including me, all I really need would be the ZV-E1. And pair it with a Osmo Pocket 3 or GoPro 12. The Pocket 3 is great, right? Because you can use that for multiple. If you want to stay under a lower budget, you can go with the GoPro 12. You can go with the DJI Osmo Action 4, which now that mic that you get in the Creator Combo with the Pocket 3 will work with the Osmo Action 4. So if you ever want to get an extra camera with that or whatever, the mic would work the same. So hey, I'm just saying, that's a benefit. But together, those would be great. So you'd have travel vlogging, and you'd have something to put on a tripod, which would be the ZV-E10. You get some lenses for it, and you're good to go. I'm telling you, you know, listen, I'm guilty. I like to use new cameras. I like to use new stuff. The problem is, it's like, it's a never-ending battle. Like, you know, the S5 II is a great camera. I just had that. I sent it back. I decided to send it back. Quality was amazing. I liked, you know, all the features and stuff, but it's more than what I'm going to need. All the, you know, the open gate, I don't really need that. But if you do, that's a great camera too. Full frame, man, that's hard to beat for the price. But for me, it wasn't a right fit because I am invested in Sony lenses. I like I am comfortable with the way the Sony ecosystem works as far as you know, all the lenses and the third parties and the menus and how that all works. I'm good with that because that's what I've been using. And I'm used to it, and I feel more at home. The Panasonic, I mean, I was learning a whole new system, and my eyes, I couldn't read the, you know, 4K. You had to read all these little lines. For me, it didn't work. You know, I had to put reading glasses on, even though the screen is more clear. You know, it's clearer, and you got a viewfinder, right? I love the camera, but it's just like, I don't need tool card slots. I don't need, the fan would be nice, right? But it's more of a luxury. It's more like a want to have, not a need to have. I don't have none of these cameras overheat on me, and they're both great cameras, right? So I just wanted to get this out to you to tell you. A lot of people are saying, we'll go with this 6700, which is great, the 10-bit, yada, yada. Look at this footage, okay? Look at it. if you're not running it side to side next to anything else, everyone wants to talk about color science. And yeah, there is a little difference here and there. You know, I have Nikons, Canons. There's a little difference here and there. Okay, there is. But it's not, if you're not putting it next to another camera, next to next to picture, you'll never really notice a difference. And you can tweak them all and make them all look the same. I mean, there's countless videos of people putting them next to each other, and they can tweak them, and they can pretty much get them to look the same anyway. Like, I'm not into tweaking. I want to try to make it as easy as possible anyway. And this is the ZV-E10. If you put a good lens on it, right? That's the key. You put a good lens on it. You put a 1.4 on this bad boy. This is a 35mm 1.8, a full frame lens, actually. 35mm 1.8. Because I'm running it with the ZV-E10, I'm running it with the ZV-E1, which is running a 55mm Zeiss, so they're comparable in what the focal range is here. Obviously, it looks great on the ZV-E1, and you'll have 10-bit, and you'll be able to process it more and change colors more. But do you need that? I mean, if you're starting out and you're just getting into this, you can always upgrade, you know, right? You can even buy the ZV-E10, get it like 35 1.8, or you get a couple full frame lenses if you know you're going to go up to full frame at some point. But that's fine because the APS-C lenses on the ZV-E1 will work just fine too, right? With the clear image zoom, you can use those and still on the full frame sensor. But either way, my recommendation starting out, ZV-E10, till they come out with the ZV-E2, or ZV-E10 Mark II, then this is still going to run you through the next year, and it's going to be great. And then after that, like, just because a new camera comes out doesn't mean it degrades the image quality. And even with the A6700, if you run them side by side, I've seen countless videos of that too. There is a little difference. You can push and pull the colors and all that more because it's 10-bit. But for the most part, the image quality is not leaps and bounds better. Just the functionality, right? And we get lost in specs and blah, blah, blah. But it's just the functionality. It'll be a little snappier a little bit, which is good. You know, I want that camera, but I'm going to wait and see what comes out next year and see, you know, what works for me. But I'm a price conscious shopper. I don't want to just spend loads of money on the cameras that don't work for me, right? I was that close to keeping the S5 II, but I'm like, nah, I'd have to buy in a whole new ecosystem, right? You got to do it smart for you. So what's smart for you, right? ZV-E10, great camera. It's going to be a great camera now. It's going to be a great camera next year and the year after that. Why? Because the image quality is what it is. It's 4K, guys. You put this, the ultimate test, take a photo, take video, put it on a big screen. All right? If it passes the 55-inch or more or 50-inch more TV screen or better, if it passes that test, then it's not, you're good, right? 8K, do you need it? No. Do you want it? Maybe. Until you start editing it. That's a whole other question. But this is the file sizes and stuff. But I'm not saying any of that's bad. That's great. When you can move up to those things, or you like those things, and it's worth, and you got the money, then do it. But I'm just saying you don't need it. You convince yourself you do, but you don't, right? My wife and I are watching Star Trek right now, right? Next Generation. It's still in box format. But the story is good, and that's what it's all about. The story. If your content is good, and if your story is good, that is what's going to get people watching. Make sure your sound is decent. The sound you're hearing right now is coming out of the ZV-E10, okay? This $599 camera right now, and you can buy it used even less. I mean, you can get one of these for around $500, right? Buy 2 lenses for less than $1,000. Guys, don't, you know, if all you got is a cell phone, start with that. What I'm saying, you don't let that be your barrier. Don't let the camera be your barrier. If you've got a story to tell, tell it. But tell it in a way that it's interesting, have decent sound. And if you have this for video quality, that's all you need. And starting out, if you're like, well, that's all I got, and I need stabilization, then use Canon's Browse starting out. Or get an action camera. Right? Or use your cell phone for the vlogging and moving around stuff, right? Who doesn't have a cell phone, right? and you use the ZV-10 as a talking head. So just wanted to get this out to you. Let me know what your thoughts are. Is there a better option under 1,000? You might be able to get something used, right? Full frame, A7C, A7 III even, if you're just going to do 4K 24. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. New or used, ZV-10 is still a great bang for dollar camera, and I am keeping mine because it is a good value deal. All right, guys, leave your comments below. I love to hear them. I like to answer back. I like to get your feedback. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see. Let me know what questions you have, right? Because I'm into this just like you guys. I like doing this, and I like playing with these cameras, and you know, I want to help you, and maybe you can help me too. All right, guys, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Things.